repeat. Everyone speaks English here. सब अंग्रेजी बोलते हैं, समझते हैं. This English program, right? You don't ask now. कितने भक्त जो नहीं जानते, अंग्रेजी नहीं जानते, हाथ पे होते हैं, अंग्रेजी नहीं जानते. तो क्या होगा? ट्रांसलेशन इन द बैक. पीछे अनुवाद कोई कर सकता है? माताओं के लिए प्राण वल्लभ माता जी पीछे हम माताओं को भाषण को सुनाए कि जो अंग्रेजी नहीं जानती है, तो पीछे अब जा सकती है, पीछे बैठिएगा. बस वन. और हिंदी भाषाओं के लिए कौन अनुवाद करेगा? बजरंग में क्या करता है? ओके. कन्हैया राव जी. तो जो हिंदी में सुनना चाहते हैं अंग्रेजी कथा का हिंदी में अनुवाद, तो प्रभु जी कहाँ जाओगे? बाहर नहीं जाना है. तो उनके साथ बैठिएगा. ओके. कुछ माताएं आ गई तुम्हारे पास जो हिंदी में सुनना चाहती है. तो हरी हरी. So Srila Prabhupada is a big topic. And Prabhupada is what? I was just thinking. Loknath Lokera Jivana. So Prabhupada also Lokera Jivana. Lok, we are all people. Certainly is my life and soul. So, Jai Prabhupada. So we are celebrating 125th birth anniversary of Srila Prabhupada this year. And what? Disappearance anniversary? What is this? Has anyone done calculation? How many years? 77? 44. Okay, good. Well done. The 44th anniversary, disappearance anniversary of Srila Prabhupada, which is approaching very fast. And that is my experience. Srila Prabhupada appears more and more during or around his disappearance daytime. And Krishna Balaram temple also had been organizing these Prabhupada Kathas. They do this every year to make our Srila Prabhupada memories fresh. Right? If they were heard, some memories were heard before, then you make them fresh. So sometimes, a lot of times, those could be the first time ever heard memories. In either case, we are reminded of Srila Prabhupada and we remember Srila Prabhupada more. And as we hear about Prabhupada and remember Prabhupada, then that Srila Prabhupada becomes our Prabhupada, not just our Prabhupada. He becomes my Prabhupada. I have written a book called My Prabhupada. So, Srila Prabhupada is everybody's Prabhupada. Yes? He is my Prabhupada and he is not only my God brothers or God sisters Prabhupada, but he's also your Prabhupada. As we hear more about Prabhupada, we become more and more Prabhupada conscious, Prabhupada conscious, Prabhupada consciousness. During 100th birth anniversary of Srila Prabhupada, it was 1996, was the 100th birth anniversary. And there was a ministry established, Centennial Ministry, Srila Prabhupada's Centennial Ministry, and this was one of the mission or task of the ministry was to increase Prabhupada's awareness or consciousness, that devotees become more and more Prabhupada conscious. Prabhupada. Or Prabhupada said this, or Prabhupada did this, or Prabhupada wanted this, and Prabhupada books, and Prabhupada hat, Prabhupada what? Prabhupada steps, the dance that Prabhupada taught very beginning days. That dance became known as Swami steps, like that. Well, especially to know Prabhupada, what was his mission and who he was. Vaishnavera Kriya Mudra Vigya Na Bujaya. It is not very easy to understand the Kriyas and Mudras and personalities like Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada. And we had been studying Srila Prabhupada, his life, for past 50 years. still I every day we get to know Prabhupada more. So much to know about Prabhupada. And more we know about Prabhupada, more we know about Krishna. I also think that Prabhupada consciousness cannot be separated from being Krishna conscious. That is, Prabhupada conscious person will become, he is Krishna conscious as well. So it is my meeting with Srila Prabhupada. This is the 50th anniversary of my first ever meeting with Srila Prabhupada. It was in 71 that I came in contact with Srila Prabhupada. And then his followers and his mission, the movement, Hare Krishna movement. Hare Hare. On the very first meeting, I would say I became sold out to Prabhupada. I said sold out. And I never looked back, or I never ever had thought of leaving Prabhupada, going elsewhere or turning around, and that thought never occurred. Srila Prabhupada got me, caught me. And that way Prabhupada became my my life and soul. Jivane marane aragatnai more. No other gati or destination or mission other than or outside Prabhupada's mission or the will. And of course that is, of course, I'm not the only one, but really. What about you? You also, so far so good? You're performing well? Did you ever think of leaving Prabhupada? Where would you go? Leaving, where would you go? You could only become mouse again. Becoming mouse again. Punaramushika bhav. So I'm thankful to Prabhupada for keeping me engaged all life long. So it's only a little more to go. So I could say almost all life long. So I met Srila Prabhupada in Bombay, last Maidan. I cannot really say I met him. I would say I had seen him. I had heard him during Hare Krishna festival at Cross Maidan, Mumbai in 71. But as I heard, I knew what to do with my life. That very first meeting encounter with Srila Prabhupada, as I heard Prabhupada speaking day after day after day at Cross Maidan, Pandal festival. I bought Srila Prabhupada's books, some small books. I did not have much money to buy big books. Some pocket money that I had been saving. Those were my college days. So I bought some books and I got some mala also. And I immediately started chanting. Not only chanting but dancing also. This was kind of takeaway for me from that Hare Krishna festival. They had advertised this festival, or part of the advertisement was, American sadhus are in town. You know, the European sadhus are here. So as we used to read that ad, big holdings, billboards, our response, well, forget it. American sadhus, oh, come on. That's cannot be true. American sadhus, American scientists is okay. American sadhus. But in fact, I realized when I met those American and European and even African sadhus on the stage, chanting and dancing, oh, like crazy. They were totally oblivious as they chanted and danced on the stage in front of 10,000 people in the audience. They were perspiring as they were dancing. And I was reminded of that statement in the Bible says, love thy Lord with all thy heart, with all thy strength. Yeah, are you familiar with this? Love thy Lord with all thy heart, with all thy strength. So by seeing those devotees chanting and dancing, using all their strength, and they were into it, all their heart. I was convinced. Yes, they are American, and they are American sadhus. They are sadhus. They are sadhus. So this chanting especially, something that I took away, and I used to, those days, as I was a college student, away from my home village, several hundred miles away, I was sharing room with other villagers, other folks from my village. So whenever they used to go out, I used to close the doors and windows and curtains and board the door from behind. And guess what next? I used to dance just like those Hare Krishnas on the stage by myself. And I suppose Paramatma was around, watching me, inspiring me. So 1 year later, this was 71, then 72, by this time, Prabhupada had managed to buy a property at Hare Krishna land. It was named Hare Krishna land in Juhu, which was the suburbs those days. And then another festival was held at new property at Hare Krishna land. For an entire year although Hare Krishnas were in town, I did not know whereabouts, so I was disconnected. But then, as I heard of the second festival, I rushed. I don't want to give you all the details what happened during 1 year. I just jumped to the second festival. And of course, you have heard I was presiding, and there was a repeat performance of that Hare Krishna festival at Cross Maidan. More talks by Prabhupada, more chanting and dancing, and but this time I started dancing with the Hare Krishna devotees. I was Indian, Hindu, born in a Hindu family. They were dhotis and kurtas, but I was with my pant. But I still joined them and started chanting and dancing with them, and I had more association with them. They used to invite me for prasadam sometimes. I kind of compare this with what happened with Narad Muni. Narad Muni also used to attend that festival conducted by the Bhakti-Vedantas during Chaturmasya, and he used to go along with his mother. His mother busy in the kitchen cooking or cleaning, and this boy was around sadhus assisting or participating in the satsang, including Narad Muni says with their permission, he used to honor some prasad also. And at the end of the Bhakti Vedanta's that program, Chaturmasya festivity, Narad Muni became Narad Muni. No, he was not Narad Muni before that. He joined Hare Krishna movement. So something similar. History repeats, and it's not just this is what happened. So that happened to me. So towards the end of this festival, I had made up my mind. I want to join these Hare Krishnas. I'm done with my studies. I had lost interest in studies long time ago. And during this 1 year, from time to time, I was coming from college back to my residence. I used to throw my books away, and another goes away, and another notebook, and another. So by this time, I was free, and I was ready. So I wrote application or appeal addressed to the temple president. I wrote. But then I considered, this is an international society, So the written appeal or application, they may not take it seriously. So I went to the typing institute, got it typed and signed. And in there I had, the full page appeal application so that they would admit me into their ashram or into their movement. I had written, I liked your ecstatic kirtans. I loved your sumptuous prasadam. I enjoyed the dazzling aratis. And none of these terms I knew. What is sumptuous? I had no idea what is sumptuous. Or what is a dazzling arati? Arati I knew, but dazzling. So from the ads of the publicity material which I had read before, I kind of copied. They said, please come and enjoy your sumptuous prasad. And I enjoy a sumptuous prasad. And I agree to follow your 4 regulatory principles and this and that. Please admit me, accept me. So that type application, I carried that to Hare Krishna land, and I was looking for the president. So as I entered the ashram, and I don't want to describe the condition of ashram. My Bombay is my office book. Anyway, I visited know what I'm talking about. You also in here, and much more. So I entered ashram, and I was inquiring on the person I had bumped into. I would like to meet the president. Could you arrange? And the person, I'm the president. I'm the president. I was expecting him to be somewhere behind the desk, and I had to get an interview, and so that I could. And the president read my letter right then and there. I was thinking maybe they will have a meeting of board of directors, and they will put my letter on agenda, and my case will be considered. But that was the case. So president was Giriraj Das Brahmachari. So he read the letter, and there's nothing like this he had read before. Someone from India wants to join, and has written application, and is begging, please accept me, please accept me. So immediately, we have a new bhakta here. And all the residents, all the American sadhus, European sadhus, they came running. And I was in their tight grip. They accepted me, they embraced me, and I was theirs. So I did not know what next, but after a while, they asked me to come along with one devotee. Please come, please come. We went behind the ashram, and I wasn't understanding what was happening. Why there? Why go behind there? And soon I realized the barber was waiting for me. And I was shaved up. And one more Sikha, this to count. This month we are 5 Sikhas. Like bookstore, there to be Sikha scores. There's a newsletter, Bhakta newsletter. This temple is to report. We had 10 bhaktas, we had 5 bhaktas. But sometimes 5 bhaktas would join and 3 bhaktas would leave also. From the back. They would not report that those were leaving, only joining them. And then I was taught by American sadhus how to put on dhoti and kurta. Although my father and my brothers, they never had touched the pants. their attire was only dhoti and kurta throughout their lives. But they wanted to see me as a modern man, engineer, doctor. So those devotees had to teach me. The American sadhus taught me how to wear dhoti and kurta. And then that same evening, there was an engagement. I don't know. Maybe what I'm saying is, according to Prabhupada Katha, I don't know, maybe not very directly. But I'll just finish this quickly. I got going. So that evening there was a program in a high school, and our Maharaj, Brahmanand Prabhu's brother, Gargamuni. So now he used to do the school teaching, so he brought me along. And the students knew only Hindi. Maharaj could speak only in English. And Maharaj gave me the mic. And he was speaking and I was translating. That way I became the preacher also, at least assisting preacher the very first day. And okay, so that is then 72, yeah, this is 72, Hare Krishna land 72. I joined, during that festival there was a Bhumi Puja ceremony at Hare Krishna land, Juhu. Prior to that same month, Srila Prabhupada, he had done one Bhumi Puja in Mayapur. First ever festival of ISKCON, Mayapur festival was in 72. So Prabhupada did Bhumi Puja in Mayapur. Prabhupada traveled to Vrindavan. He did Bhumi Puja of not this land, but the land of the temple and guest house and Samadhi Mandir. That much was our original piece of land, which was donated by Sarraf family. Those days we have Kshirodakshay Vishnu Prabhu, he was a Grahastha. He was staying in England, but then he joined Prabhupada full time and he was appointed to be in charge here. So this Sarraf, he had kind of donated, or he had a wish, desire to donate, but then he had second thoughts and he was in two minds, yes to donate, not to donate, not to donate. And then Kshirodakshay Vishnu and the Sarraf, they were talking and they devised one plan. Well, Sarraf came with this plan, that they will have two slips, and one there will be written, donate it. Other one, do not donate this. And then Kshirodakshay Vishnu was asked to pick up one of the chits. He had to close his eyes or something, and place that at the feet of Sarraf. Had his own deities, his temple, and he was going to place that at the feet of the deity that slip. So Kshirodakshay Vishnu, he picked up the slip and he read, donate the property. And so Sarraf made up his mind. That property was donated. So Prabhupada did the Bhumi Puja here. And then a few weeks later, Prabhupada had come to Mumbai Hare Krishna land, and during the end of this Hare Krishna festival, there was another Bhumi Puja. Like this, in 1 month, Srila Prabhupada did 3 Bhumi Pujas. Mayapur, Vrindavan, Hare Krishna land, Bombay. So that was like a March, April, Bhumi Puja took place. And then after that festival in Mumbai, Hare Krishna land, Prabhupada went a long tour of Australia, here, there, America. And during Kartik, Prabhupada returned to Vrindavan. He had this plan. He had been corresponding this with different devotees, Suradaksha Vishnu also, that he wanted to do Kartik Vrat in Vrindavan. And he was going to invite, and he did invite several devotees from India and from overseas. And there were, we used to say, oh yeah, sometimes someone would inquire, how many devotees have come to the Kartik festival? Our response is, Prabhu, so many. There are many devotees here. But how many? How many? Listen, 40 devotees. So 40 devotees those days was so many. Out of those 40 or so devotees, there were some dozen of us that come from Hare Krishna land, Juhu. And I was there with my letter of recommendation for initiation. So as we arrived, just before Kartik beginning, we arrived at the Mathura station on the first Tanga trip from Mathura to all of us coming from Bombay, coming to Radha Damodar temple. We have darshan of Radha Damodar. Hey, those were the first deities of Vrindavan that I had taken darshan of. And soon after we had darshan, we were escorted. Prabhupada is here. Prabhupada is in this room here. Prabhupada's quarters at Radha Damodar temple. So that is where we ended up. We offered our obeisances and we sat down around Prabhupada. And I was sitting right in front of Prabhupada, 3 feet and 4 feet away from Prabhupada. And this was the first time ever, the closest I could get to Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was, I was expecting that Prabhupada would be talking some Radha Krishna Katha and Vrindavan as we arrived. So Srila Prabhupada started inquiring, how is Radha Ras Bihari in Bombay, and how is this, and how is all inquiries about our Hare Krishna land and property and devotees and preaching and Hari Hari. So Prabhupada, of course, Radha Ras Bihari temple was non-different from Vrindavan. So talking about Radha Ras Bihari, talking about Radha Krishna in Vrindavan. So Prabhupada was talking and looking at us, taking a close look at us. I said this few times before. And when it was my turn to look at, Prabhupada was looking at all of us, and his camera is moving. When he comes to me, there's a pause. and then continues. Okay, he's returning now. Again, pause and continues. And I was wondering, what is something wrong with me? Is my tilak not correct, or my buttons are not right, or what is wrong? So Prabhupada made several rounds, each time pausing, looking at me, and I was not able to figure it out till Prabhupada said, "Stop it!" And I realized what was wrong with me. So those days I had a habit, as some people, anybody here, not have habit right now, at least I'm not able. I used to move my thigh, aching twice. Whenever I used to hear, kind of with rapt attention, and then used to happen, and I was moving my thigh very violently. I was not aware. Then Prabhupada, stop it, stop it. And then I stopped it, stopped forever. Only when I talk about this, I do a little demonstration for 30 seconds. But I had, who knows for how long I had been doing that. But I stopped. But I took that also. There are two types of instructions. Do this, don't do this. Vidhi, nished. Vidhi, nished. So my instruction started with nished, or don't do this. So besides not shaking my thigh anymore, I also thought, there's so many other things which I was not expected to do as a disciple soon, including no meat eating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. I was already following those, and I was going to get initiated, and those instructions also Prabhupada was given to me. So I kept thinking, don't do this. So besides not taking the thigh, don't do this, don't do this. So then, Prabhupada, we had come to spend 1 month with Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan during the month of Kartik. But we were there, okay, we were staying, Prabhupada had made Prabhupada that was another thing. Prabhupada moving back into the Radha Damodar quarter, but he had stayed there before going to America, and he was paying 5 rupees rent. How much? How many rupees? 5 rupees. Something like that, 5 rupees. So now Prabhupada was a founder, Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness with thousands of disciples, including Ambarish, someone from the Ford family, and George Harrison, the Beatles. He had donated big property in London, all these rich followers, and now Prabhupada was dealing with millions of dollars. He was dealing with a few paisas before. But when Prabhupada had come back to India, and especially to Vrindavan, Prabhupada was residing in a small room. Then some 10, 12 of us from Bombay had entered Prabhupada's that room altar. The room was already full. You could imagine this. And you have seen. There was no furniture, nothing, and Prabhupada was staying there. I was amazed and impressed with Prabhupada's spirit of Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. And so this is Six Goswami lifestyle. Yaktva turnamashesha mandalapati Venim Sada Suchabati Kopina Kanthasito. Like that. Even if all luxury and happiness and facilities, and the Six Goswamis were just busy. Radha Krishna Bhajananandi Namattaliko, they all just absorbed in Radha Krishna Bhajan with very few needs, demands, facilities. So Srila Prabhupada, I kept thinking, I had a different expectation. Prabhupada's quarters, but it was such a humble abode. Yeah, so we had come to stay with Prabhupada, but then we were here for just a few days. Prabhupada said, go to Agra. So myself and Kancha Dravida, he was Dravida Das Brahmachari, two of us were sent. And this was also, okay, why go there? Go there to collect some grains and some rice and groceries and sugar and gur and ghee and spices. Come back, we will have a grand Govardhan Puja festival. We'll have Annakut. Prabhupada was planning. None of us, we had no clue what was coming up, what different festivities. The Prabhupada was planning. He sent two of us, and that was the personal instruction of Prabhupada. You do this. So we came back with a temple, small lorry full of rice, dal, this, that, and we had a big Govardhan Puja festival during that month. So Srila Prabhupada was residing at Radha Damodar, and every day we had a Srimad Bhagavatam classes in the morning, and next have devotion classes in the evening. So the NOD classes, very famous classes. Probably you have heard the recordings, you know. In these recordings you hear a lot of times birds chirping, you know. Those with the birds come sitting in those trees. Prabhupada is speaking, the birds are chirping with a background music. And so Prabhupada gave us that association for entire month of Damodar. And yeah, again, this land or property, ISKCON Vrindavan property, was after Bhumi Puja, Prabhupada had managed to, he was starting the construction. It was a construction site, just some digging had happened. And Srila Prabhupada used to send us every day from Radha Damodar temple to Krishna Balaram temple. It was going to be Krishna Balaram temple. And used to come chanting, dancing, and there was lots of opposition or misunderstanding. Brajabasis, we were kind of foreigners. Of course, only few Indians, 95% Westerners and few heads from India. So this is Angrez ka Mandir, and these are CIAs, and who knows what is their intention now. In the past, they came to do the business. And then they took over, they made us slaves. But this time they're coming back as sadhus. We know what your intention is. Like this Indians would think, or they are CIAs. And then we say, yes, we are CIA. Chaitanya, Intelligent Agency. CIA, yeah, that kind of CIA. Yeah. So I remember people throwing at least tomatoes as we used to do Nagar Kirtan or coming from Radha Damodar temple to this temple to be built. Were not always welcome, as we were performing Kirtan. So to come, finally coming from Radha Madan Mohan temple to Bhakti Vedant Goshala, that time there was no Goshala, nothing. We just had a land. But through that land we used to chant and dance and zigzagging and ending up here. And on our property there was only one tree, Kamal tree, famous tree. Those had made sure while they were doing the layout, because this tree cannot be touched. Tree we have to protect. So it was it became part of the courtyard. So this is Prabhupada. Yeah, Prabhupada was behind the planning, and Surabhi Prabhu, he became Surabhi Rapala from Swami Maharaj. He was the designer of this temple, Vrindavan temple, Mayapur temple. So Prabhupada was working with, so we used to come and to our land, as I think I mentioned other day. That tree was as tall as I am. I used to stand next to the tree. And this is 49 years ago, because I haven't grown in size. So the tree grew in size and departed also, and then another tree has been planted there. This is the second tree in a row, and I'm sure with the third one and the fourth one, and all the time in future, you should remember, if this tree leaves, then you have to plant another tree in the same place, same location. Yeah, so many things happened during that Kartik festival. Okay, main thing for me, what happened was on Bahulashtami day, it is Radhakunj appearance day, initiation was conducted, and I had my letter of recommendation, which I had handed over to the Prabhupada and his secretaries. And that day, the month of Kartik, at Radha Damodar temple, next to Rupa Goswami's Samadhi and Bhajan Kutir, Srila Prabhupada, during early morning hours in the day of Radha Kunj's appearance day, Prabhupada gave me birth. I was born that day, which is a few days ago. So that makes my 49th birthday. Prabhupada gave me the birth, and I was born in Vrindavan. So that was a big thing. But one time Prabhupada sent me to go get jalebis. I also have a which one is that? Okay, my Prabhupada is here. Just now appeared, huh? Okay, my Prabhupada is here. I mean, half of the books which I have written are about Prabhupada. Maybe written some dozen books. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 books are about Prabhupada, which includes Mayapur Vrindavan Festivals. This is a book. And this festival that I'm talking about, the Kartik of 72, was the first Vrindavan festival. Of course, Mayapur Vrindavan Festival is Prabhupada meant the festival in Mayapur during Gaur Purnima and another festival right after in Vrindavan. That is Mayapur festival. But that Mayapur Vrindavan festival is not going that strong. But this Kartik festival is getting bigger and bigger in size and quality. And so that festival was started by Srila Prabhupada in 72, spending 1 month here in Vrindavan and setting the standard. So I was just talking about jalebis. So looks like Prabhupada was fond of jalebis. Some other jalebi stories are there that I have experienced. Prabhupada must be from before he's going to America. He must be enjoying jalebis from particular shop in Loi Bazaar. So I was given the address. I told where to go. No, don't go there. Don't go there. You go there to that shop and get the jalebi. So I had gone and I got the jalebi wala to make the fresh jalebis. I was waiting and as they were hot, I ran to Prabhupada. Hot jalebis for you, Prabhupada. So there was some personal service that I rendered. Also, on the ground floor where Prabhupada was residing initially, there was lots of noise. So Prabhupada wanted to shift to the first floor where his servants and secretaries used to reside. So it was myself and one Krishna Das from Delhi, Gujarat. So we spent half day cleaning that room upstairs, scrubbing and washing and thoroughly shining and cooling it. And we spent a lot of time. It's almost not that big, but we worked hard with our heart. We prepared a room for Prabhupada and then Prabhupada shifted to the room upstairs doing that subject. And then Prabhupada used to walk on the first floor, just outside the room. There was a veranda, like a roof. And we used to watch Prabhupada. We used to be there, Samadhi. You have to go Swami Samadhi side and Prabhupada used to walk. And we used to watch. And we were so much Prabhupada conscious. You can't believe I can never understand how much we were into Prabhupada. And we are into Prabhupada to this day. Yeah, that reminds me that in Bombay, when I joined in Bombay and I was Bombay Brahmachari for 4 years. Bombay was Prabhupada's office. Bombay is my office, not a book. And like officer comes or spends a lot of time in his office, right? So Srila Prabhupada used to travel around the world He comes back to Bombay, to his office. Then traveling out and coming back, I used to go greet Prabhupada at the airport. No? That happened dozens of times. In that book I have made record. It's close to 100 times Prabhupada arrived and departed from Bombay airport. And, you keep track of their aircraft. Prabhupada is in that aircraft. That is Singapore airline. That's this airline. And Prabhupada has to climb down the stairs. And then Prabhupada used to walk to the terminal building. Those days security was not that tight. Unfortunately, that's the case now. We used to see Prabhupada walking to the terminal building. And it is my impression, the way Prabhupada used to, Prabhupada, while walking, Prabhupada never looked down. You never see Prabhupada. Prabhupada is always looking back into the future. The future. And if we stick to it, I used to think that here is someone who is returning after conquering this world, that world. He went, he saw, he conquered. And he's now returning to his capital or his office. I need to greet him. What I wanted to say was that at the time of departure, now Prabhupada is leaving for London, leaving for New York, leaving for wherever. So, when we used to go to the roof of the terminal building, they used to allow us to pay 2 rupees or something, and we get to go and see planes taking off. And then we used to keep track. That one is the Indian Airlines. Now moving, now he's on the going to take off. It took off. And we used to keep looking at that airplane till we could not see that airplane anymore. And then pay our obeisances. This is something like those gopis also. When Krishna and Balaram was being carried to Mathura by a cruise, first of all they were trying to stop that, but when they couldn't stop, then they kept watching that cart leaving, and they're not seeing cart anymore, but they only see the dust above the cart. And then they couldn't see nothing, no cart, no dust, so they so feeling kind of separation also. So we're still thinking of Prabhupada like that. You're conscious of Prabhupada like that. And Prabhupada is coming, Prabhupada is coming, Prabhupada is coming, Prabhupada is... After coming is welcome, but going, leaving is not welcome. So that was 72. I took my birth here, and then many more Prabhupada memories of encounters in Vrindavan. I was given sannyas also by Sri Prabhupada in Krishna Balaram Kopiyar. The first initiation of Radha Damodar, but then 75, Sri Prabhupada opened the temple, Krishna Balaram Ki. It was Ram Navami time. After Mayapur festival. Prabhupada had gone to Hyderabad for program, and then he had traveled with his disciples from all over the world to Hyderabad and to Vrindavan. Ramanami was the day the temple opening took place, and I had come. I was hearing of a team of temple devotees and congregation. We were proud that we had one bogie, one compartment full just of Bombay devotees and congregation, 70, 80, including my parents. I managed to get my parents to come. And so we witnessed temple opening as Prabhupada was offering that arati. With Krishna Balaram, I was standing all the way in the front, next to the railing, holding the railing and watching Prabhupada. Whenever Prabhupada would look behind and offer all those articles to the assembled devotees, that is what Pujaris do, Prabhupada was doing, and Prabhupada had a victorious, was very proud. He has his own temple in Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram temple. Okay. So that was in April, and then in December, the sannyas ceremony of myself, Prithuputra from France, and Sridhar Das Brahmachari from Canada, and Loknath Das Brahmachari from India. Three of us have given sannyas in the courtyard, and after sannyas ceremony, we have gone into Prabhupada's quarter to find out whether Prabhupada is going to give us any new names or any other new instruction. So as we were sitting in front of Prabhupada in his quarter, regarding the names, said, add Swami to your names. Now it is bhakti, this, bhakti, that, and Prabhupada, add Swami to your name. And we can see there Swami, Prithuputra Swami, Loknath Swami. And what about, are you sending us to Siberia? Or are you sending us to Africa or where? Said, go back to Bombay. We were Bombay brahmacharis, go back to Bombay. And that time Prabhupada said, any instructions? And Prabhupada started, Manmana bhavamad bhakto adhyasmi mam namaskuru. He quoted that verse and he said, you do these four things. Remember me, become my devotee, worship me, and obeisance to me. If you did this without duplicity, non-duplicitous way, your teaching will be perfect, your life will be perfect. Really. So that was briefly that instruction. It's complete, right? We just said few things. That was a lot. That was everything. Just do these four things. No duplicity. So that was 75. In 76, maybe I'm skipping many things. From 71 to 77, that span. Prabhupada arrived in India late 1970. Then his mission started from that time, early 70. So I was there from beginning to finish, 77, with Prabhupada, around Prabhupada, following Prabhupada, serving Prabhupada. So, 76, Prabhupada had asked me to start the Bullock Cart Sankirtan party. Because I was traveling with Hans of Dut Prabhu, no, Swami. He was a VDC of Germany and some of the European countries. Anyway, it's a long story. So, but those buses which we had to go back to Germany. So we were not going to be having any mode of transportation. And we were not thinking, but Prabhupada had come to know. So Prabhupada said, Bullock cart, to kind of get down from the buses, go to the Bullock cart. And I was selected for the task. So that instruction was I received on Radhastami Day at Radha Parsati Mandir in New Delhi. When Prabhupada had come to Vrindavan, we also followed him soon after Prabhupada's coming here. Then we were preparing to start the Bullock cart. The head pujari, I thought I remembered the name of it. He gave us his personal Gaurnitai deities and this, that, we prepared, and when we were ready to go, with the month of September, we went into Prabhupada's quarter, and we spent like a 1 full hour. Prabhupada was talking and inspiring us further, giving instructions. When you go to the village, where you should park your cart and this and that. And you should have 2 blankets, each one of you had 2 blankets each, because winter was coming up. So Prabhupada was very concerned, and he said, your cart should have tire wheels. Tire, not the metal within. And like that. And that Mahatma Gandhi's village development is failure. We should go to the villages and their taste for the holy name should increase. Then they'll be satisfied and stay wherever they are. Otherwise, they're going to run to the cities. And as we were leaving, many things, it was 1 hour long talk. So as we were leaving, Prabhupada said, Jare dakho tyare kaho. What? No, Hare Krishna Upadesh. Prabhupada said, Jare dakho tyare kaho, Hare Krishna Upadesh. He changed that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction while he was instructing us. Hare Krishna Upadesh means emphasize chanting of Hare Krishna. And then we left. We broke coconut, and we had that coconut in front on Prabhupada's table, and he was eating. While he was eating, we were talking also. And so that was 76 October. I also difficult, but so the comparison could be made. Jiva Goswami also had sent Acharya Prior 3 stalwart Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Acharyas from Vrindavan to Bengal. They were also asked to go in a bullock cart carrying Granthas, Gaudiya Granthas, Narottam Das Thakur and Shamanand Prabhu and Srinivas Acharya. So I don't know, we never talked about this, but Prabhupada sending us from Vrindavan to Mayapur, Bengal side, or something similar that Jiva Goswami had asked his followers to do. So when we had met Prabhupada, and in Kumbh Mela Prabhupada, we had met Prabhupada, or Bullock Cart reached Kumbh Mela, January, Prayagraj, and one day after morning walk, Prabhupada came to where we had a bullock cart. The bulls also were next to the cart. Prabhupada visited our site, the bullock cart. Especially, there was a sign on the side of the bullock cart. We had written. It was written in a roundish fashion. It was not a straight line, round curve. So Prabhupada was standing next to the cart inside, and he started reading like that. Bhakti Vedanta Bullock Cart Sankirtan Party. He started reading like that and ended reading the whole thing. Hari. So during that festival, one day, I took opportunity to meet Prabhupada, and he was by himself in the tent, and he was so much interested in how everything transpired between Vrindavan and Prayagraj, our journey, or how we were received, and how books were being distributed, and how we were maintaining, and I gave the whole report, and Prabhupada was so pleased, so happy, so joyous to was inquiring about this, inquiring about that. And he had his face was beaming, with a smile, and that is what I behold, that smiling, happy face of Prabhupada, which keeps me inspired, and I get further inspired to go on and on and on with the Bullock Cart, preaching, spreading the holy name. That was a mission of spreading the holy name around to more times in the village. And then we traveled. The Mayapur festival time, we were in Mayapur, and we arrived at noon time, Radha Madhav Darshan, and we went to Prabhupada's quarter, and I will not tell you that. Harishori Prabhu was trying to stop us. No, you can't go. But luckily, Prabhupada had just was going to the bathroom or coming out of the bathroom, which was not in his room, but on the side, walked out into the veranda and going into his room, and he saw us battling with Hari Chauri Prabhu. He was saying, no, go back, no, not now. And the Prabhu said, let them come. So our path was cleared, and we ran to Prabhupada. Prabhupada made us sit down in his altar, and then there was a big pile of garlands in Prabhupada's quarters. Some devotees earlier had offered many garlands. And as we took our seats, Prabhupada said, Tamal, Hari Chauri, offer them garlands. And we all had a party with a big garland to the city, greeted by Prabhupada and honored by Prabhupada. And there's a further reporting of how everything transpired between Prayagraj and how was the journey, Prabhupada? How was the journey? And I said, it was an easy journey to Mayapur planet, Prabhupada. Makes sense? That was the title of one of his book title is Easy Journey to Other Planets. I just put in those words. Easy Journey to Mayapur planet. A lot of okay, then we have only a little more time. Then 77. I will not tell you 77 all the stories from Bombay, here, there, mostly Bombay, and Mayapur also, but just here in Vrindavan. Prabhupada had, just to mention Prabhupada, really. Okay. Prabhupada is in Mayapur. He did not participate fully in the festival, did not give classes. He skipped Vrindavan festival that year. He went to Bombay. And here, Pandal program, festival, Pandal festival. Modern civilization is total failure. Only alternative is Krishna consciousness is the theme of the Pandal festival, and every day Prabhupada was lecturing on this theme. Although he was very sick and weak, he used to literally lift him and put him into his asana. But once he had a microphone, he was roaring and scaring the audience with his. Then from there, Prabhupada goes to Rishikesh, and Rishikesh comes to Vrindavan, and he wanted to travel. Yes, anyway, I don't know what he said. But from Rishikesh, he was coming here thinking, I'm going to leave this world, leave this body. So with that thought, he had returned to Vrindavan, but then he got better, and then he had idea of traveling again, and then his goal was to go to Gita Nagari and establish Varnashram Dharma and work on those aspects of Krishna consciousness. But on the way to America, he stopped in London. He was there for Janmashtami and Das Puja, but he was not getting better, getting worse in fact, and then again he wanted to return to Vrindavan, but he arrived first. He arrived in Bombay, spent like a month or so in Bombay. They were there to see him, and they had never seen Prabhupada, the way he looked, a bit black glasses, and he was no more walking, only telling him, they were carrying him. And once he was in his quarter, he was in his bed, and we had many opportunities to sing for him, one person at a time. And I was on the schedule. Prabhupada comes to Prabhupada also had come to Mumbai thinking he wanted to open Radharasi Hari Temple by Dashera time. After Janmashtami in London, was coming to Bombay to open temple. The temple was not quite ready and his health was not getting better, so he decided to leave. So September, October, I think October, beginning of October, he left for Vrindavan, and then many of us followed Prabhupada. We were still traveling with our Narad Muni traveling with distribution party, so we drove and we arrived in Vrindavan. And one of my first assignments here was Prabhupada sent me to Prayag, Allahabad, those days, Allahabad, Prayag, to bring his doctor, Ghosh, was his friend, to go get him. And then I had to fly. Prabhupada said, give him money to Kamal Krishna. And that became the first flight of my life. I flew for Prabhupada. Prabhupada paid for the flight. We went to Allahabad to find out that the Dr. Ghosh was not in Allahabad. He was in Assam, Himachal, Darjeeling, in the top of the mountain. His granddaughter was studying there, so he had gone there. So I followed him. I got the address, and he was surprised to find them. But when he heard Prabhupada wants him, he was immediately ready, and we both traveled to Delhi and to Vrindavan, and I presented. And on the way, what happened? From Dr. Ghosh's home in Allahabad, Prayag, he was not there. But I was coming to the airport to catch another flight to Bagdogra. So on the way, I saw a big Hanuman statue, and he was holding Himalaya, the hill, and he was leaving for Sri Lanka. Hanuman is leaving for Sri Lanka with a medicine for Lakshman, who is Adi Guru, the original spiritual master. I started thinking, I am also going to Himalayan mountain, Darjeeling. I'm not going there to bring the medicine, but I'm going to bring the doctor for my spiritual master. So I was praying to Hanuman, oh Hanuman, please make me successful in my mission. And by Hanuman, I give credit to Hanuman. He heard my prayers and I was successful in that mission. So then we started traveling, distributing books, and we had gone to up to Badrik Ashram and had visited the cave of Vyasadev. And we were book distributors, so we would carry Prabhupada's books everywhere. So as we had gone into the cave of Vyasadev's cave, there was a Ganesh Gufa there. So we were carrying the books. So as we had come back, and there was no way to find out how is Prabhupada's health, is he getting better, or not even phones worked those days. Forget the mobile and SMS, nothing of that sort. We had to personally come to find out how Prabhupada was doing. So as we arrived here, this was just 1 week before Prabhupada's departure. 14th November was the departure day. 1 week before, and Prabhupada was kind to give us time. We entered Prabhupada's quarters. We sat around Prabhupada's bed. Prabhupada used to lie in the bed, no sitting. He was lying in the bed, and as he was hearing our book distribution reports with great pleasure, and as we were reporting, we also mentioned, we showed your Bhagavad-Gita to Srila Vyasadeva Prabhupada. We showed your Bhagavad-Gita. We did not say we sold your Bhagavad-Gita. No question of selling Bhagavad-Gita to Vyasadeva. Showed Bhagavad-Gita. Prabhupada was smiling. And more talk happened. Prabhupada's voice was very, very low. You had to keep your ear next close to his mouth so that you could hear him. So, so then towards the end of that get together, our party was leaving. Most of them were out of the door. I was the last one to leave. Before leaving, I just wanted to take another last look at Prabhupada. And as I looked at Prabhupada signaled it. I went back, sat next to him, and Prabhupada said, I want to see you. What time suits you? Did you hear that question? Yes, I want to see you. What time suits you? The voice was very grave and of course I said there's no question of what time suits, whatever time suits you, Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said, 4 o'clock, okay. I mean, is it 4 o'clock, okay? Okay. That was the time settled. And so all day I wasn't sure what Prabhupada was thinking about, what was on his mind. And so I was, okay, 3 hours to go and 2 hours to go and 1 hour to go. And at 4 o'clock I came to Prabhupada's door. So then I was like, no. You don't have to see Prabhupada. Come here to Krishna Balaram guest house reception. There was a different kind of layout there. Now the way it looks now, nothing like that. So anyway, so there, all the senior disciples, sannyasis, and VDCs, and assistants were sitting there. And as I arrived there, they said, Prabhupada wants you to get a bullock cart for him. And so this is what he wanted to talk to me, but he couldn't contain himself, it looks like. And during the day, he mentioned what he was thinking about, the bullock cart. And so then we had gone, myself, Pancha Dravida, and Trivikram Swami, all three of the Swamis, we went to Mathura Vrindavan to hire a bullock cart. It was around the Govardhan Puja festival time. The farmers usually don't, they give break to the bulls, and so it's very hard to book them, hire them, but we managed. And one bullock cart had come, was parked in front of Krishna Balaram temple on the road, though there was no traffic. So only few cars during the day would do the PP wah. Most of the time bullock cars used to fly on the road. You used to hear jingling bells around the necks of the bulls as they walk. And lots of peacocks those days, and monkeys as usual. Where are the peacocks now? And where are the bullock cars? They have gone. And cold Delhi is here, Agra is here, and whole world is here. Yeah, okay. So then, a lot of discussion happened that day, that night, and lots of discussions which I think I supposed to write in one of my books here. They're all recorded in folio of conversations. So that bullock cart idea was dropped. Prabhupada wanted to go to Govardhan and camp out. That's that. Yeah. So, the bullock cart idea was dropped. The traveling idea Prabhupada never gave up. The next day, or 2 days later, again we were in Prabhupada's quarters. Prabhupada invited the senior men to come. He was planning to depart. It was on his mind, so he had invited. So there were several hundred of his disciples here, senior men. So again, his quarter was full, and Prabhupada now proposing to travel again, but this time traveling with the buses. And we were all welcoming this will or desire of Prabhupada of traveling, because we were thinking, yes, Prabhupada wants to travel. That meant what? He's not leaving us. He's going to stay on longer with us. So we were welcoming Prabhupada's traveling plans. As bus traveling idea was being discussed, and devotees sitting around, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. No, I remember Bhakti Damodar Maharaj said, wherever we go to the city, there are some scientific minded people. I could organize some conference for you to address. Could I come with you, Prabhupada? Yes. Then Giriraj Das, wherever we go, there's opportunity for making members, life members. And he was like a number one life member maker in India. Could I go? Yes, you could go. And then there was a Bhakti Chaitanya Swami, Indian from Punjab, Chandigarh. He was a good driver. He said, Prabhupada, I'm a good driver. Could I come? Yes. Like that. Devotees were taking turn and could I come? Could I come? Could I come? Then I also took my turn. And I knew. So there was a lot of discussion had taken place about his traveling with the buses and advance party. And I had an experience of traveling with the bullock cart as well as traveling with the buses. So I had discussions with those at bullock cart traveling party discussions, bus traveling party discussions. But I still, I knew I was selected. I'm in the list, but I still asked, could I go? And then Prabhupada said, well, you would be our leader at this level. So now the traveling with the buses was settled and we got going with myself and Kamal Krishna Maharaj and several others that we saw Maharaj was around, Bhavanand Maharaj. We were preparing for that traveling, bus traveling. We had bought big map of India and we were making travel plans and where to get the buses and drivers and this and that. And as we were in the middle of this planning, then it was the 14th of November, kind of blackest day of our life, in a sense. Arrived, and then Kaviraj, the Ayurvedic doctor, was both as doctor, was taking care of the diet and the medicine. So he had realized that Prabhupada is leaving. So then he was going all over the property, informing us that Prabhupada is getting ready to leave and to leave. We were dropping everything whatever we were doing, and we all ran running, brushing to Prabhupada, water, and so over there, I was there as he was lying down to his left, just 2 feet away, and so there was nothing else that we could have done but to chant. We're all singing. We're all singing in a chorus manner. There's no one leading and following. We're all leading. We're all following. You know, all trying and then Prabhupada also said Hare Krishna. We didn't hear but his mouth opening and closing, something insane was noticed, and Hari Hari. Prabhupada ki. So then we had, I just don't want it. So we, after some days, we took Prabhupada's brass deity to Radhakund. We had a Abhishek. Prabhupada's deity took bath in Radhakund, and he was placed in Palanquin, and hundreds of great number of devotees. We did parikrama of Govardhan with Prabhupada and Palanquin. Considering that was Prabhupada's last will, and he wanted to go to Govardhan. And then he also wanted to go all over India with the buses. And he also wanted to go to the bullock cart. The idea of traveling the bullock cart was, he said, we'll do the trial around Vrindavan first. And he wanted to go all over India with the bullock cart. That was the idea. And then he came to the bus side, traveling with the buses idea. So after Prabhupada's departure, we all got busy, more to do. Prabhupada not being around, and then no one was considering this Prabhupada's last will of traveling around India, traveling with the bullock cart or the buses. But then it was 1986, Gaudiya Vaishnava world was getting ready to celebrate 500th anniversary of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birth. Then GBCs took a decision that we will travel, ISKCON devotees will travel to all the places of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit or the pastime, all over South India. So we started a big party, started in Dwarka, and we had several hundred devotees from dozens of countries, and we walked, we traveled to Prabhupada in a cart in the front, and got Mithai goes in the back. And we traveled for 18 months, 8,000 kilometers to reach Mayapur by 1986. We had a grand festival of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's 500th anniversary, birth anniversary festival. But we just couldn't stop. There's so much happening and success and the momentum that has built. We decided to go. Then we decided to come to Vrindavan. So we came to Vrindavan. Then we said, we should go to Badrika Ashram. We went to Badrika Ashram with the bullock cart. Then we said, we should go back to Dwarka where we started. After 4 or so years, we returned to Dwarka. And by that time, there was a welcome gate. Srila Prabhupada Padayatra Dwar was built. And there was a grand reception in Dwarka for our bullock cart Sankirtan party. So we made one round. And then still we're not satisfied. And second round, third round, fourth round. Now party is on the sixth round here. Started 35 years ago. And that party is here, next to Prabhupada Samadhi. A cart and deities and Padayatris are doing Parikrama of Vrindavan. And more and more Padayatras are also starting in other states, Andhra Pradesh and Maharashtra and Uttar Pradesh and Bengal and Orissa just now started. Last month, new party started. So like that. So this way we are, that Prabhupada had that will of traveling, going to the places of pilgrimage, traveling with the bullock cart, traveling with the buses. So we are executing that Prabhupada's will by this project and program of bullock cart Sankirtan. Ki, Prabhupada ki, Lord Maharaj.